welcome to Ethan Live. It is Friday, August the 8th, and I didn't get to do days earlier today, so let's do them really quick. It's International Beer Day.
Oh,
Debbie, do you like beer?
no, but
I know that you don't. Elsie, do you drink beer at all?
No.
Okay. How about International Cat Day?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love that one. I miss my
good.
cat babies.
That's a good one. Happiness Happens Day.
Oh,
National CBD Day. Yeah, I mean,
oh,
I don't. Ethan takes some CBD. I don't really take any CBD. National Frozen Custard Day. National Pickleball Day. Elsie, do you play
wow.
pickleball?
We don't, but it's huge here in South Florida.
where are you, by the way?
In South Florida.
South Florida. Okay.
Yes.
South Florida. Okay, and so wear your mother's jewelry day. Okay, we are getting back into our series on Hero Dog semifinalists. Hero Dog Awards voting is open now through September 15th. Go to AmericanHumane.org. You can vote once a day in each category. Just don't go vote for one dog. Go to each category, vote for one dog, and each one is open until September 15th. And so this afternoon, we're so happy to be joined by emerging hero and shelter Hero Dog semifinalist Leo and his person, Elsie. Elsie, how are you?
How are you?
We are doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
We have a special place for the shelter category, so.
Yes, I do as well.
And did you say you are in Florida?
Yes, South Florida.
South Florida. Okay.
It's very hot.
Yeah.
Very, very hot.
So are you close to like West Palm, or are you the other side?
I am Broward County, so I'm a county down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
you're Miami? Is that Miami's county?
No, that would be Miami-Dade. I'm in Broward, so I'm right in the middle.
Okay, gotcha.
Headed down from West Palm to like Key West or down to the Keys.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get into sort of Leo's story and what you're doing with him, tell us a little bit about your journey and what you were into before Leo sort of came along.
Well, I am, first of all, a mom to a 22-year-old with a craniofacial condition. It's very rare. So I took some time off from work, to take care of all his therapies, all his medical appointments, surgeries, things like that. And about 3.5 years ago, the cleft and craniofacial team that he used to go to, because he was recently discharged, they reached out because the family advocate, she was retiring, and she said, I'm retiring and they really want someone with hospital experience, like, a child that has a cleft or craniofacial condition with all the surgeries, would you be interested? And Randy, which is my son, Randy was about to graduate. He was in high school. And I said, you know what? I think it's time for me to get back to work. And this is something, that I like. I empathize with these families. So I said, you know what? Absolutely. Let me apply. And I already knew pretty much everyone because he was a patient. And so I've been there 3.5 years, and I work closely with everyone on the team. I provide resources for the families. I plan different events. I do fundraisers. I connect families with other families with same condition because, we see cleft lip, cleft palate, or other, more serious craniofacial syndromes like my son has.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So did you say that was at a hospital you working through?
Yes. Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital in Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool. So how did you hear about Leo, and sort of how did he come into your world, and what made you say, okay, this is the dog that we want to add to our family?
Well, I have always rescued dogs. Like literally all my dogs have been picked up from the street. All of them, except Randy's. My son had a Shih Tzu who was a puppy mill rescue. So we got him from a rescue. He was missing an eye, and because he looked different, my son and him really connected. Sadly, we had to put him down about 4 or 5 years ago, and that was horrible because this was my son's best friend since he was, 6 years old. So
Yeah.
one morning, I remember when I started working, I was talking to the nurse that I work with, and I said, I would like to adopt at some point a dog with a cleft lip, but I had plenty of other dogs and cats, and, every type of animal. So, and, it was just a conversation. And one morning I'm having coffee at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I start Googling for a dog with a cleft. And I see Leo, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's like the cutest little thing ever. And I remember I said, okay, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I can't reach out to anyone. When I get out of work, let me go ahead and contact this person. So I contacted the lady from Cleft Rescue Unit. They're in New York. And I said to her, I explained to her my whole story. I said, I am a family advocate. I work with, children with cleft lip, cleft palate, and other craniofacial conditions. And I saw Leo, and I would love to adopt Leo because I would love to have him trained as a therapy dog so that, he can be a part of the team, because it was so important for my son to connect with his dog. We're both different. It helped him so much. It really, really did. And, it brought a lot of acceptance from other people, especially kids. So I reached out to her, and she said, he has a potential adopter. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh.
And they were going to have a meet and greet that Saturday. And she said, if it doesn't go through, which I doubt it won't, because he's the cutest little thing, don't worry, we will find you. And I said, listen, it is what it is. If it's meant to be,
It'll be.
I'm really looking for, a dog that I can train as a therapy dog. And I would love to have him be part of, the team. I'll start off with like my events, things like that. And well, Leo was for some reason not adopted by that family. So she reached out to me, and I said, oh my gosh, like, really?
Yeah.
This is wonderful. And we were like, okay, now how do we get him from New York down to South Florida?
To Florida.
So, my colleagues, one of them, her family's from New York. She said, well, I'll fly over there and visit my family, and I'll bring him down. But it just so happens that Lindsay from Cleft Rescue Unit was going to fly down to Punta Gorda to meet her family, to go to Anna Maria or something. And she's like, how far is Punta Gorda? And I had no idea at that point. I go, it doesn't matter. I will drive there and pick him up.
Oh.
It was like 2.5 hours away. So we did. We went, we picked him up from the airport there. And that was last year in January, the end of January. We started training shortly after that, just basic obedience training. Then we did the group trainings. We did community trainings, individual trainings, and he recently graduated as a therapy dog.
Oh,
very cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
yeah.
Thank you. So now we're working with another organization that works with the hospital that I work with, just to get him reevaluated.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully he'll be able to come with me during our clinic appointments, because our appointments are about 4.5 hours long. And part of my job is to, to make the kids, the families feel comfortable. So I do different things. I get a lot of donations for like toys. I have a claw machine in my room so that the kids are comfortable, when I'm talking to the parents. And, I'm like, this is wonderful, because when all the events that I plan, Leo comes, and the families are like, they had no clue that dogs can actually have a cleft lip.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, they're like, and I'm like, absolutely. Look, he had the palate. We did repair the palate, because just like kids, he was getting food stuck and he can get an infection.
Right.
So of course we're leaving the lip and the nose, because the whole point is for kids to be able to say, there he is. Kids to be able to say, oh, he looks like me, and look how cute he is. And he was tube fed as a baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just like some of, the kids with clefts or craniofacial conditions have to be tube fed. So he was tube fed by the rescue. Now he eats and drinks fine. He's a little sloppy sometimes, but it's okay.
That's all right.
Yeah, his only limitation is that he cannot swim, but it's okay. I don't think he's really fond of swimming anyway. Um,
That's
yeah,
okay.
but he's a really, really cute dog, and I'm telling you, I take him, and we had our shirts. I don't know if you can see it, our picnic shirt last
that's
year.
neat.
It was safari theme, and so I dressed him up as a lion, and yeah, and it was really, really nice. It is.
What a sweet journey to your house. That was,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
So you had, when you saw him, you already had in your mind and sort of had a vision that it would be, really cool to make him a therapy dog. But
You're right.
when he came into your house, what sort of like personality and characteristics did you see from him that he reinforced it even more? That said, hey,
Well,
he's really going to be a really good therapy dog.
it's funny you say that because I wanted my other dog, Pumpkin. She's a Chihuahua Maltese mix. And when I first rescued her, I said, oh, she can probably, go to obedience school and be a therapy dog. No, she was, forget it. She was wild,
Wasn't her
and she's part Chihuahua, and no. So with Leo, it's so funny because I said, I'll train him and I'll see, because of course they have to have the temperament. He
yes.
is like the laziest, calmest. Like in the beginning, I was like, I think something's wrong with him. I took him to the vet like 3 times, and the vet is like, he's fine. Just like kids, like some kids are calmer than others.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
He's just chill.
he's the chillest dog. Like, I mean, he's just amazing. Like his whole temperament. We can take him anywhere. We were in the mall a couple weeks ago, and we were just walking.
Aw.
Yeah, there he is. He's actually in the same spot right now, sleeping. So we were in the mall a couple weeks ago, and there were I didn't see the dogs, but I heard the dogs barking, and he's turning around looking at them like, what is wrong with them? Like, why are they barking? So his temperament right away, I knew. I mean, I did get him evaluated. The trainer came out and said, listen, we need to, we'll figure out if he does have the temperament that we need in a therapy dog. And I mean, the minute he saw him, he's like, oh yeah, he's going to be great. He's going to be fantastic. So yeah.
And he is a Cocker Spaniel.
He is. Yes, he is a Cocker Spaniel.
About 1.5 years old.
Yes.
So is that why? Because you kind of threw me off. I was going to ask you this when we got on, but you kind of threw me off saying you were down in Florida because on the Hero Dog thing it says New York. Is that because he came
from the rescue in New York?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. His rescue is in New York. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which we just saw them because we actually went to ClefCon in Orlando. And ClefCon is part of Smile Train, which is one of the biggest organizations for cleft and cranial, mainly cleft. But we were just there with him, and the rescue also went and took some puppies. So it was really nice. She got to see him, and and the kids. I mean, we have tons of pictures. The kids, the parents, everybody was in love with him. And
they're very proud of him. That's how I tracked you down. Or
partly, really? Yeah.
Was through their page.
So. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, he did great. It's so funny. The person that was sitting next to me, Leo he started petting Leo, and that's it. I'm like, okay, now Leo's just going to sit with you the whole time. And that's what he did.
Goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get much information about his background? Did he end up just in a rescue because when he was born, folks just didn't think they could take care of him?
Right. He came from a breeder, Pennsylvania. So they reached out the same day to Lindsay at Cleft Rescue Unit and said, we have this puppy with, I mean, you can tell, because I know sometimes with the palate, even with kids, you can't really because it's inside, right? Mm-hmm. But with him, it's the lip and the nose. Mm-hmm. So they reached out to her, and they were able to get him within the same day to her rescue. Yeah.
And was his name even all through the whole thing Leo?
His name was Leo. Yeah, his name was Leo. So we didn't change it because he understood his name, and he kind of looks like a lion. And I said, well, maybe, it's a cute name. Yeah. And it's easy for kids. It's so funny because I asked my speech therapist, I said, for the kids with clefts, is Leo a good name? And she said, well, they might call him Wheel, but there's really no, like, I'm thinking I had a pumpkin and a pickle, and I'm like, oh, I like pretzel, but then pretzel's kind of hard for the kids to pronounce. So
Yeah.
we kept Leo.
Oh,
I, we had I like the name. We had a dog named Leo that passed away a few years ago, but and Leo the lion. We called him Leo the lion too.
Yeah, that's why. And yeah,
Oh.
we do the haircut on him and all that.
Well, the kids have to love that. So.
Oh, the kids love him. I mean, my picnic and everything. It's so funny. Like next year's theme is going to be pirate theme. So we already have the shirts, the idea for the shirts. He's in the invitations. Yeah, he's kind of a big deal.
Right. What about so the kids immediately, just when they see him, they can see that Leo is different. But what do you think about his personality it is that allows him to connect so well with the kids at the hospital?
It's funny because I feel like he's like a normal dog, right? He's like a normal dog, and it's so funny because I see, like, my son has a craniofacial syndrome, and he knows he has this syndrome, obviously, but it doesn't affect him. Like, his self-esteem is so amazing because I guess I've always been like, you're fine, even if you look different or it takes you a little longer, it's okay. We're all different. So he went to an amazing school where they had a lot of inclusion. So he did not feel different or excluded, really. I mean, there's always the bullying and things like that. But, as long as I guess you speak to them and you build up that self-esteem. And with Leo, it's so funny because he's treated like a normal dog. I mean, of course, he's in training and, he goes and does more things, I guess, than other dogs would do. But again, it's his temperament. Like, there's no way I can take Pumpkin out to a mall because she'll be barking at everybody, or to a hotel. I mean, I can't because, again, she'll be barking. And with him, just, he's very, very chill. He's very comforting. It's, it's amazing because, like, the kids, they all go right up to his face because they're like, does he have a hole in his mouth? Like, what's wrong with his nose? And I'll be like, oh, yeah, he has a cleft. And their eyes just light up and they're like, oh, he looks like me. And, it's just, it's magical. It really, really is.
Yeah. That's wonderful that you're sharing with those kids. That's just love it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him.
Does he have? Do you have? Does he go to work quite a bit with you, or does he have like certain days that he goes to the hospital to work? Or
and he's not going yet to the hospital. He goes to my events. The hospital we have to go through a process where he goes through this other organization. He was trained, and he passed a good canine citizenship test. But now he has to go and get reevaluated by someone else, by another organization. So we're working on that. Maybe next month I will schedule him for that. And hopefully after that, he will be able to go with me. Our clinics are 5 times a month, and they're very long days for the families. So it's so funny because everybody has pictures of Leo all over the place. And I mean, we have a PowerPoint slideshow on while they're in the conference room waiting. So everyone knows Leo. So we're just waiting for that.
So your goal is to have him at the clinics.
At the clinics, correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that'll be great because, again, it's a distraction.
Yeah.
It's sometimes those appointments can be very overwhelming, especially for the new parents, because it's about 4.5, 5 hours, and you're talking about surgeries and you're talking about therapies.
Yeah.
It can be a lot.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Tell us a little bit about some of the events that you were talking about that you do in the community.
Yeah.
Well, I do an annual picnic every year. It's usually in February, and we invite all our families. And it's a really big deal because before I even started working here, like I said, my son was a patient and I used to volunteer. And it's such a nice time because, when you're in the cleft and craniofacial community, a lot of times, unfortunately, people stare because it's something different. You have like a hole in your lip or, you look different. So a lot of times, I mean, it happened to me, you go out in public, especially like a park, right, where there's all these kids, and there's always the stares, there's always, people commenting, And sometimes you feel uncomfortable. It can also be uncomfortable, I would imagine, for the siblings. Randy's an only child, but I'm sure it's very uncomfortable because people, sometimes it's just that they're not educated, right? And sometimes they're different. So instead of asking, they just stare and make comments. So for me, this annual picnic is such a big deal because it is a time where the kids and the families can all go to a park. I mean, I have bounce houses, I have face painting, I have arts and crafts, there's a DJ, there's a lot going on, there's games, we give away toys, and it's a time where the parents can relax because no one's going to stare, no one's going to ask questions. On the contrary, like I connect families and I'm like, oh, this syndrome, well, guess what? I have 5 other families going, and I introduce them and I have them see that they're not alone. Sometimes they create these friendships where they even get together outside of the picnic. Of course, and once a year they see each other at this picnic, and they are, so happy that they're able to do it. And the feedback is always the same. They're like, it's so nice to be able to come out, have a great time, not worry about people staring or asking questions or talking, in front of the kids, saying, oh, what's wrong with your face or your lip or your nose? So it's really, really nice. Leo is also part of the Prestige Club, which is another charity in Broward County. So he goes to their events as well. They do, events as well, like picnics, days at the park, things like that. So he goes out there, and the kids, again, even if they don't have cleft lip or cleft palate, they see, a dog, and it's great. They do a lot of like anti-bullying as well. So it's a great way to be like, see, he looks different, but he's still a dog. Right. And sometimes that clicks better, and they remember that. Yeah. So
always great to start with the children and educating them.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm working on writing a book about Leo as well.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm all about inclusion. I'm all about educating. Like whenever someone asks me, oh, would you be willing to speak? Would you be willing to sit in this panel? I'm like, absolutely. Because, I know what it's like as a parent, and it can be very, very difficult. And same for the pups. There's so many, even cats that have cleft lips. And yes, they look different, but they're a cat. They're a dog. Like Leo goes out for walks. Leo, you can dress him up. It's, he's a dog. He's like your typical dog. He just looks a little different. And, his personality is, there you go. See? He's such a happy guy. I mean, he really, really is. He also went to the dentist. He goes to the dentist, just like the kids with the clefts. He had to have 3 teeth extracted as well. Okay. But that's his personality. He's like always happy. He's either happy or sleeping. Like it's the 2.
Pretty good life there.
Yeah. Very good life.
What you are doing though is fantastic, and it's one of the reasons why I like Hero Dogs so much, is because you get to meet. Yeah, the dogs are the picture that you see, but you get to hear these stories. And, over the last 3 years, I've heard Dr. Robbins say so many times, the hero on both sides of the leash. So what a great, fantastic thing you're doing for those families, kids down there. That's amazing.
Yeah.
The support you're giving them, but you're creating other families for them, which is just amazing that they have those groups that they can rely on for support.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It is. Yeah.
So now we move on to Hero Dog Awards. How did you hear about the Hero Dog Awards, and then how did you say, hey, I think this is something I want to be
a part of?
Well, Lindsay from Cleft Rescue Unit, he actually contacted me and said, she texted me, she's like, do you have a minute to talk? And I said, yeah, absolutely. And I was like hoping that she didn't have another dog, because I would probably say yes. So she brought it up and she said, would you? And I said, absolutely. So she said, I'm going to connect you with them. And that's what she did. And here we are.
What a fantastic way to, raise even more awareness.
Right.
And she was really good because, Debbie was doing the research, and she found them, and there was a phone number on there, and I texted her, and I, as I've been getting a hold of folks, a lot of people have gotten some strange texts from me, but I sent a
Wondering
message
who
and
we
said, hey,
are.
I'm trying. I'm trying to, get a hold of this particular person, and you don't have to give me their information. Just give them my information,
Right.
because
Yeah,
we,
that's what she
we
did.
love to talk to you. Yeah.
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 Yeah, she reached out to me about you as well, and I said, absolutely, I'll text right now.
Now,
And
be honest, did you Googling first?
actually, I did. I found him on
See?
Instagram. I did.
You gotta do
And then
do
I
a little.
started following. Yeah, no, I
Good
did my
girl.
research. I did my research. Absolutely. I was like, oh, let me make sure this is the right person.
Well, I'm
Legit.
so glad that I ran across the Cleft Rescue because I'd never heard of that before.
Yeah.
So, it's raised my awareness that this rescue is out there doing this kind of work.
Right.
So,
Well, I didn't know about that particular rescue. I don't know. I said maybe I'll find like, sometimes in Pet Finder, those places. I said maybe
yeah,
I'll find something, and Leo came up,
yeah,
and I reached out to her, and I was like, oh wow, this is like they actually have like a rescue for
for
dogs,
Cleft,
with gloves. This is
yeah.
amazing. So yeah, and she's done a lot of great things. I've connected her with a few organizations as well, cleft and craniofacial. So she's been able to participate in a lot, and she really does. I mean, she came down for the Smile Training event for the Cleft
Wow.
Con. She's doing, like different, there's summer camp, there's a
Uh-huh.
summer camp, and there's another event that she's doing in New York.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a lot. And again, it brings, I'm all about education and all about
Exactly.
awareness.
Yes.
And it's, it's
We
an
have
amazing
to
thing.
normalize. Yes.
Right. And
We
she's
have-
connecting families. Like her whole goal, the first time we spoke, I loved it because she was like, this is exactly what I want to do. I want to connect the dogs with families that have, and I said, oh, Leo's going to be connected to not just Randy, my son, but to so many other families,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, he has already started and will continue to make, such a big difference in so many people's lives. So how cool was it? You get email, phone call. How cool you fill out. You send in a picture too. You fill out this for Hero Dog Awards, and then you get. I'm not sure how they did it this year. Email, phone call, finding out that you were a semifinalist. How fun was that?
Oh, it was amazing. And I couldn't say anything yet until they announced it. So I was like,
Right.
I really want to say something.
Those doggone disclosures you got to sign.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this is awesome. So yeah, it was great. It really was. It's
Yeah. I love it because there's so many, again, there's so many wonderful stories out there of folks doing some, just some incredible things that you may not ever hear about. And
right.
this is a wonderful organization and a program that recognizes a lot of those. Do you have, how can people follow like Leo, or do you have social media for him, and how can people kind of follow along with you?
Yeah, Leo has an IG. It's Leo_has a cleft. So he does have his own IG page. So you can definitely follow him there. Yeah.
I couldn't find that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's Leo. Yeah. Oh, there's Pumpkin. There's my pumpkin. That's the obedience.
Oh, that's
Pumpkin. Yeah.
That's the one that did not make it into the.
No. I knew right away. I said, no, this is not going to work out for her.
That's
not at all.
okay.
Yeah, that's my son Randy with Leo, and Leo graduated.
Oh,
very nice.
Yeah. Oh, what a proud moment for me.
Yeah. Very cool.
Oh.
There he is.
Yeah,
there he is.
Just love your story, Elsie.
Does he like? So he doesn't like to swim. Does he like to go on the boat?
Not really. No. No. Again, he's very lazy. He's just.
I got one of those too.
Yeah. There he is. He's so chill. We took him to the gym with us, and my son was doing sit-ups, and he was just on top of my son while my son was doing sit-ups. I'm like, Leo, he's got to work out. Like, you can't just sleep here. Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
He's such a cute little guy, and
he is.
It looks like he has just a wonderful personality, and he will help so many kids, so many families.
Yeah.
as you know, as he moves through his therapy, sort of his therapy dog
Journey.
career.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
he's got a
Yeah.
job now.
He
Yeah.
does. That's what I tell
Cruise-
him. I'm like,
cruise
listen,
away.
relax all you want right now because you're going to be working soon.
Work is coming soon.
It is.
So,
It sure is.
there are tremendous amount of stories out there. All there's even the folks that didn't make it to the semifinals have a wonderful story, but there are 25 stories out there that are so good, and people are doing wonderful things with their dog. But it is a voting contest. Tell us a little bit about what makes Leo special and why folks should consider voting for Leo in the emerging hero and shelter dog category.
Well, Leo is definitely a special dog. I mean, just the fact that he survived what he did, because again, he had the cleft lip and palate, and so much had to happen for him to be able to make it from Pennsylvania to New York, and to find the right person, right, the right people that were willing, because I mean, they have to be fed like every 2 hours. So a lot of times, sadly, pups like him are euthanized.
Yeah.
Even vets will be like, no, just euthanize them. And you actually have this rescue that is willing to feed him and, do the special bottles. They do like the rabbit water bottle if they need it. And they took the time to actually do that. Then, he came all the way down to South Florida from New York. I did take him to the dentist. We did fix the palate. We, extracted the teeth. And the fact that he can make a difference in the lives of children with clefts and craniofacial conditions, I think that's huge. I mean, sometimes I think, you know what, we don't deserve dogs because dogs just make the world a much better place. They don't judge you.
Right.
They're always willing to be anyone's friend. And a lot of times these kids do experience a lot of bullying, and they feel the world can be cruel sometimes, and again, sometimes it's being uneducated. So if Leo can go out there and kids can come up, typical kids, for lack of a better word, can come up and say, what's wrong with him? Well, he was born with a cleft, and just like a child can be born with a cleft, there's surgery to repair. Leo's not going to be repaired, but look, he's a dog. He barks, he walks, he plays fetch, he eats, he loves treats, and he loves
Oh, well.
right. So, it's okay to be different.
Yeah.
It's not scary. It's okay. And he is absolutely, perfect.
Yeah.
And
Anyway.
he just, as a little puppy, he just needs somebody to give him a chance. And thankfully,
Exactly.
there was a group out there,
Yeah.
that he needed some special care that,
He did.
just alone, he wouldn't have been able to get that on his own. So
No, and
just needed
no,
somebody to give him a
exactly.
chance. And so you sit and you think about, like you said, there, across the country, there are a lot of dogs that may be born like Leo that are euthanized. But you just think of that one little act of, we know where we can put him. And then
Exactly.
that ripple effect of all these lives that he's going to impact and improve because of that one decision that was made right at the beginning.
That he was valuable. Yes.
Exactly. And the fact that they reached out, and, the point that it takes a village, just like it takes a village to raise a child. Imagine to raise a child with any special need, it's a much bigger village. And even now with Leo, it took, transportation, someone to get him to the rescue, and then the foster mom that had him as well. And, then we made it a point where it worked out that they were able to bring him to me. And, I'm willing to work with him. I had a trainer, I work in the hospital, and he is just going to make such a huge difference. I mean, he's already making a huge difference, but he is going to continue to shine and to show other kids that it's okay to be different. It's okay. And, he's perfectly imperfect, and that's okay.
Yes, there you go. That's exactly.
Yes, he definitely is. So everyone, please go and vote. The Hero Dog Awards. The voting is open until September 15th. You can vote once a day. Go to AmericanHumane.org. You can vote once a day and once in each category. Make sure you vote in each category. This is Leo's in the emerging hero and shelter dog category. So please, everyone, read those stories. Hopefully, you listen to some of these and you get a little bit more background in the stories. But read those stories and vote and
We're trying to get him.
make a difference. Let's see if we can see.
Yeah, let me wake him up.
Yours is probably sleeping next to you too, Jeff, right?
He's over on the bed.
Here he is.
Oh, look at him.
Oh.
I know you're tired.
How much does Leo weigh?
He's 25 pounds.
Okay, 25 pounds. He's just
Look
all
at
that
him.
hair just makes him.
Yeah, he's very fluffy. I know you were sleeping.
Oh, the kids to love him.
Very sweet. Very sweet.
He's very
Elsie,
fluffy.
thank you so much for joining us today.
you.
Everyone get out there and vote for the Hero
Thank
Dog
you.
Awards. And thank you so much. Thank you for the work that you're doing. And thank you for joining us today. Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, have a wonderful day.